curveballs thrown at you. Maybe you're restarting your career. Maybe you've just come back to your business. Wherever you are, I guarantee you, when you spend more time with women who are also growing their businesses, who are also facing challenges of life, who are also creating businesses, collaborations, and have been through some things, and you listen and you engage in that conversation, I think you're going to be inspired. You're going to be motivated. And you're going to know that you're not alone. You're not alone in seeking for those goals and trying to achieve the next big thing and make an impact. And you're not alone at weathering the life storms, because it happens to all of us. So today, I want to welcome all of you, and I'm excited for you to meet our incredible speakers. I hope you stick around. If you can, I have two requests, please, from you. If you're here, you're watching, and even if you're watching this on replay, introduce yourself in a chat. We really want to meet you. And two, share it with your own social media followers, because our goal is to reach as many women to be part of this conversation, right? We've created this community, this platform for all of you, not just for us, not just for us to be in the spotlight, but for all of you. So I invite you to participate, be part of that conversation, and let's see how we can create ripple effect in this world, how we can make bigger impact and spread our messages wider. Whether you're speaking on our stage or you're not today, it doesn't matter. Your voice matters. So I invite you to be part of these events, our community, our networking events. We do a lot of incredible free things that you can participate in, where you can meet some amazing women. Love you. Lovely. Thank you so much for your comments. Lovely to see you. So I would love to welcome our first speaker. She is Haley Thomas, and she is a dynamic business strategist, a speaker, a podcast host, and the founder of The Passion Pursuit. With a mission to empower multi-passionate creatives, Haley understands the importance of building businesses that not only thrive financially, but also enrich the lives of their founders. I love that. The passion pursuit. What a powerful word. Hello, Haley. How are you?
Hi, thank you. I'm so excited and grateful to be here.
Where are you joining from?
From Milwaukee, Wisconsin, over in the States.
Nice. I love your background. It's so just fun, just even watching. And I'm really excited to hear your story, because pursuit of our passions is so powerful to really unlocking that next level of success. So I'm super thrilled to have you here. So over to you, Haley.
Thank you. I'm so happy to get this started. I want to start with a question today. And that question is, have you ever been told that your dreams were unrealistic? And has that paralyzed you before you even took a step towards them? Maybe you even went as far as to say, I guess that ship has sailed. And I will tell you, I used to be this way. You see, we grow up with this childlike wonder, with dreams that are bigger than ourselves. But somewhere along the way, we started acquiring the opinions, the beliefs, and the fears of the other people around us who claimed that it just wasn't possible, who said we needed to be more realistic. We were shown one path to success, and if we didn't pursue that, then we were doing something wrong. Which is how I found myself putting my dream on the back burner in pursuit of what I thought was deemed as the only way to success, in pursuit of the path that was more realistic, safe, the normal, and quite frankly, accepted path. And as I navigated this path, I felt incredibly stuck, unhappy, and a shell of myself. I had lost my joy, my passion, my zest for life, until this inner voice within me started to whisper that there has to be something more than this. I was never one to be put in a box. I began to open up to the possibility, stepping out of this box of what claimed to be the only way to success in life. I started to question the limiting beliefs that I had taken on that were never mine to begin with. Why couldn't I was a question I began to ask, rather than convincing myself of all the reasons as to why I couldn't. I began to lean into the strengths, not the weaknesses, embracing and sharing the knowledge that I had gleaned from my life and the many experiences that I had. And most of all, I started to lean into my passion and joy again, trusting that that alone was enough of a reason for me to pursue something that I loved. I started to see that when I set my mind to something, that anything was possible, and dreams began to come true. Some that I thought would never come to life, some that others questioned so intensely to this day, I wonder how I made it through. And I want to remind you of this. The most life changing ideas in our history never came out of the realistic place, but often the place of being misunderstood. And for me, I didn't want to just stop in my own path. You see, this has always been bigger than me. I wanted to create the space where those unrealistic dreams became the new normal. I wanted to embody what's possible and show others that they too could pursue those dreams on their heart. And I created the Passion Pursuit to be just that. So it is my mission to reconnect you back with your joy, your purpose, the desires and dreams that you thought once could never be. It is my mission to remind you that you are capable of a heck of a lot more than you're giving yourself credit for. And it is my mission to make sure that you are no longer the person standing in your own way. So I look forward to speaking on this in March, how to help you step into the confidence as a fellow dreamer, navigating those pesky limiting beliefs like self-doubt, imposter syndrome, perfectionism. I'm here to show you what's possible because my own life has drastically changed over these last few years, from starting a business, a podcast, traveling to over 13 countries in the last year, collaborations that I thought were once just a pipe dream. So my question to you as we end this is, if I can do this, why can't you? Let me remind you of the possibility that lies ahead when you make the decision to go for it. I believe in you, and I can't wait to speak in March. Thank you.
Haley, what a way to kick us off today. I love that. Unrealistic dreams, the new normal. And, so often we play small. We play
Yes.
small, or we think, is it possible? And even, that's what I want to encourage our audience today. Think about your biggest dream, like the scariest dream that you have right now. And what if you could double that, triple that, or take it to a whole new level beyond that? Because it's just a matter of a mind limiting us and putting us in a box, isn't it? And I love, the story that you shared. Oh, I love it, Haley.
Thank you
What
so
would you want
much.
to encourage our women to do today?
Mm. The thing that you are thinking when you ask that question of what is that scary dream within you, just practice saying it out loud. And even if that's just to yourself in the mirror, practice expressing that dream to acknowledge that it is present within you. I feel like that would be the first step.
Yeah. And you mentioned that you travel the world. And what was some of the scariest things that you pursued when you just kind of become, I don't know, you realize that I want to really pursue my passion, my purpose?
Traveling is such a big one for me because over this last year, I decided to pursue a solo trip, and I'm happily married. My husband does not work remote. And with his support, I decided to go. And I lived actually in Valencia, Spain for a couple of weeks and had this unreal experience, met so many beautiful lifelong friends, and grew as a person. And for me, it didn't only expand me personally, professionally, but it expanded what was possible for my family too. And I think
Mm.
sometimes it's that reminder that we have to be the pioneers and pave the path and take that initial step to make the change that we seek in our lives and in the lives of our families and community.
Yeah. Taking kind of responsibilities then for
Yeah.
pursuing our dreams. Because very often, especially we as women, we put others first. We say, oh, not yet, not now. I have to have family. I have to do this. I have to do that. And kudos to you just taking a leap of faith and just saying, hey, I'm just going to go and live somewhere else for a little while.
You can have it all. I truly believe that.
Yeah, amazing. Haley, how do people connect with you?
Yeah, so I am on all things The Passion Pursuit Co. website, Instagram. I love to be the sounding board for other people's dreams. So shoot me a message. I'd love to hear what you've got brewing within you.
Yeah, amazing. Haley, thanks so much for sharing your message today. I'm really excited to have you on the Women Thrive Summit in March and hear your talk. I think it's going to be really, really powerful.
Thank you so much for having me. I can't wait.
Lovely to see you. Thank you. This was Haley Thomas, and what a good way to kick us off today. Just really talking about there's no limits. There's no limits to what you can achieve and how big you can dream, really pursuing that passion. Because a lot of times, we, like I said, putting it away and waiting for the perfect moment. The truth is, there is no perfect moment. There's now. There's only now. So go ahead and pursue that. Well, next up, I have the lovely Kathy Baldwin. Kathy is a wonderful voice on our platform as well. I'm so excited to have her here. So, Kathy Baldwin stands as a leading advocate for paradigm shift, empowering women to heal from past traumas, reconnect with their divine feminine energy, and step into their own power. Her work is a testament to believe that true empowerment and healing comes from within, and that by addressing the root causes of our struggles, we can unlock our full potential. Kathy, lovely to have you here. Hello.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here again with you, Raymonda.
I am excited to have you here, Kathy. You got some powerful messages and just the message that you're really advocating for. I'm excited to hear. I'm not going to give it all away, so I'm going to hand it over to you, and I can't wait to hear what you got lined up for us.
Well, I don't know what I'm doing here tonight. I got the feeling that something ain't right. I'm so scared that I'm going to fall off my chair, and I'm wondering, how am I going to get down the stairs? Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Were you singing? We have made so many songs about the way we live. And yet here we have songs like Stuck in the Middle with You, and it's fun and it's kind of catchy. But how many of us are actually living stuck in the middle? I hear so many people say, I'm stuck between these two people. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. I don't know what to do. I feel trapped. I feel stuck. I'm sitting on the fence. I haven't decided. That is the epitome of being disempowered. That has become normalized, that we don't have a voice, that we don't have opinions, that we don't have a message, but we do. We do, every single one of us. We came here for a reason. We came here with a purpose. We came here with a passion. Haley, she's part of the example of showing us that that is our birthright. And we need to get unstuck by unlearning the crap that we've been taught. We've been taught to be ashamed of our past. We've been taught to be ashamed of the mistakes or the missteps or the things that didn't go right. We've been taught that people pleasing and putting others ahead of us is noble and is right. But now more than ever, we need people to have opinions and strength of conviction and a knowing within yourself that what you think and what you feel and what you say matters. So I challenge you, if you are feeling stuck in the middle, trapped, to have a small voice. You just need a little bit of a purr before you can roar. And it's okay. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say, I don't want that, or that's not for me. Because so many of us need to start with the negative before we can get to the positive. We need to know what we don't want so that we can claim what we do want. We need to be able to have that voice to articulate and say, yes, that's for me. Yes, that's for me. and dream about the things that were shut down, the crap that we were taught about get your head out of the clouds, put your nose to the grindstone. I'm here to tell you that is a lie. It is crap. Crap is conditioned responses and automatic programming. It is not you. It is not who you are. It is not where you belong. And it is not what the world wants from you, because the world is crying. The world is crying for each and every one of us to step into our power, to become empowered, to become independent, to become successful, to bring value and joy and gifts to the world. We cannot stay stuck in the middle of complacency. We cannot stay stuck in the middle of decision, because our power lies with our ability to decide. And when I say decide, I don't mean wish or think or maybe or hope. I mean decide. Today is the day. Today I claim. Today I decide. Today I choose. And seize it. And you know what? If you find that once you seize it, it's not what you want, or it was a stepping stone to where you're going, make a new decision. Don't stay stuck in complacency because you made a decision. Don't think that because you made a decision that now you are stuck in a new place, because everything changes when we make a decision by the choices that are available to us. You don't need to be stuck in the middle. You do not need to leave the clowns and the jokers surrounding you. Rise up. We're all waiting.
Yay, Kathy. I love that beautiful message. It just serves as a powerful reminder. And I think as we going back to a new season now, autumn and, gone back to school, I think it's so paralyzing to sometimes be in that position where you're having to make so many decisions, and it's quite draining, isn't it? To which direction do I go, or which way, what program do I create as entrepreneurs, or just so many things, and then it just keeps us stuck.
Yeah, and we hear it in our everyday language. I heard someone the other day say to me, I'm stuck in the middle of these two people who have different opposing views. And what a horrible feeling that you can't choose where you fit because of what other people think around you.
Yeah, just stand for something. I think, progress happens when you're starting to do something, right? Because when you allow the mind get in the way, it's like we're thinking about the past, we're thinking about the future, about all the outcomes, but you're just in your head and you're not taking action. And the magic really truly happens is when you start doing, you will unravel the next step and the next step and the next step, and just take one little step every day, and then you'll figure it out. You might need to do a little detour or take a turn, and it's okay.
That's why we have GPSs, and that's what we have inside of us. We have our own GPS that says, okay, I went down this way, turn around, different direction, make a new decision. Absolutely.
I love that. Kathy, what can we expect at the Women Thrive Summit from you?
Well, I believe in unlearning the crap. And I believe there's a lot of crap that we've been taught. And so I will be challenging the status quo. I will be challenging the things that are keeping us disempowered and keeping us stuck. And so I have a big message that helps people get unstuck.
I love that. Thank you, Kathy. It's so good to see you. Always love to have you on our stage. It's like you always come with a new surprise. So always a pleasure. Great to see you, Kathy. Thank you.
Thank you.
This was Kathy Baldwin. And if you do want to connect with her, Go ahead, check out some of her social media channels. I'm sure she'll put it in the chat as well. But what a great lineup. And already, I don't know about you, but my mind is already just opening up new pathways and this encouragement. Sometimes you just need a little reminder to get yourself unstuck. And this was just a beautiful message by Kathy today. Ooh, who do we have next? I want to see you sharing this. If you're watching this live on social media, go ahead and share it right now to your audience. Once you've done that, just put comment done, put your emojis in chat. We want to reach more people. I don't know what's going on with the algorithms, but it does not let you reach all the people. We have tons of people on our social media. What is happening, social media world? We need to be reaching more people, and the only way to do that is when we have your engagement. So if you are enjoying the conversations, if you're having fun in today's showcase event, make sure you leave comments for our speakers. Next up, Carol Poto. So, Carol is a dynamic host of the podcast She Takes the Lead. She's a producer, corporate consultant, a storyteller, and life transition strategist. Carol's mission is to help ambitious women who find themselves at life's crossroads, and that happens quite a bit. She takes the lead whether by choice or circumstances, to take the lead in their own narrative. She believes that you are the author of your own story and possess everything you need to craft the next chapter, the best chapter of your life. Carol, so good to see you.
Hi, Raimonda. Thank you so much. It's so good to be here.
You're one powerhouse woman. And the more I am getting to know you, I'm like, wow, Carol, you're inspiration, I think, for so many. Last time we had you on our showcase, I really enjoyed your talk, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what you've got prepared for us today. So over to you.
Thank you so much. I loved being here, and this is so fun. I love hearing the other women talking. It's just the best thing I can think of. So I'm going to just start with something. I want to tell everybody. It's a little awkward, but I'm telling you something that I hate. I hate the phrase "getting your ducks in a row." It's the bane of my existence. I hear it and I cringe and I get angry and I get upset because I'm like, I've never in my lifetime, in my 5 decades of life, had my ducks fully in a row. I don't even know where my ducks are half the time. Like, they're off quacking, maybe they're with dogs, I don't know. So what I do is try to figure out how to deal with not having your ducks in a row and still moving your life forward. You know, we have all of these crazy transitions. We have left turns. I've been divorced. I'm a single mom by choice. It took me 4 years of fertility to have my kid. That was on top of 12 solid years of trying to have her. I have gone through massive career changes, a lot of stuff. It's all been really hard. I mean, it's all been me being out in the world and then closing my door behind me and literally just collapsing on the floor. And it's exhausting and it's confusing and it's upsetting because I'm a person that likes control. You know, I like to know what I'm doing. I like to know that I have a say in my life, and I have dreams in my mind of what I want to do. And a lot of my dreams have not come true. And a lot of my dreams haven't come true, certainly the way I wanted them to come true. And, you know, that can be upsetting, or that can be something I have to deal with. And I have chosen that that's what I have to deal with. However, I have learned how to take some power back so that I can actually navigate my life in the direction that I want it to go into. And as I was saying, you know, we have all of these significant changes, whether, I don't know, you're getting divorced or you're relocating, or, you know, you're a mom going back to work after, you know, taking care of your kid for a long time. And that's certainly not that easy to do. I mean, besides the just internal change that you've made, you know, the world looks at you differently. So, you know, I have some tools that I use in order to, when these changes come, to help me get through them and actually be empowered by the pivot, by the change. So I live in New York City. And in the United States, we have a big election. We have the presidential election is coming up. I'm not getting into politics, but I just wanted to. Michelle Obama spoke the other night, and she spoke about something. She was talking about, getting up and quote unquote doing something, right? It actually became the do something rally. And, she was saying, if you feel down, if you're sitting on your couch and you don't know what to do, if you're just lying there and you're just upset, do something. you know um, if you're roaming around and you're confused and you feel powerless and stuck and frozen, do something. And I'm a big proponent of that. But how? Right? Like, I have depression. I mean, half the people I know have depression. So, I call it couch time. Like, getting off the couch is not easy. But I'm actually currently in Denver visiting my best friend with my daughter, with my 5-year-old. And we were watching the sunset. Now, the sunsets in Denver are extraordinary. I've genuinely never seen anything like it. And we were out looking at the sunset, and it's like these beautiful, beautiful clouds that look painted. They don't look like puffy clouds. They look almost like somebody's just taken a brush and brushed the clouds into the sky. And then the sky was like pink and orange with curves of kind of gray mixed in. And I was showing my daughter this sunset. I was holding her up, and I try as a mom to teach her to look at things differently. We have a family that looks different. So we talk about embracing differences, and I really want her to understand how to view things with her own eyes. And she went, Mommy, this looks like a painting. And I was like, yeah, it kind of does. And I was like, how so? And she pointed it out, and she said, there's a volcano over there. And then she pointed out, and she said, you see those little black like lines? They look like rocks. And then there's the ocean. And I took a better look. And for a minute, I thought it was the ocean. It wasn't the ocean. That was actually the blue sky behind us. And it reminded me of something. Fresh eyes are amazing. Fresh eyes make you see an ocean in the sky, right? They make you see a volcano up above. They're making you see these spectacular things. A 5-year-old can do this because they have the freedom of their own joy, of their own light, of their own experience, without any experience or anything that maybe mired that part of them, or squished them down, or told them they could not have emotions, or they should not have emotions, or they should not, that their view of life is not valid. She's had none of that. All she's had is, let's look at the sunset. Tell me what it is. And nobody's quashed that yet, So she's chosen to see in the sky a world out there. And what I wanted to share today was, I want you to make the choice. It's very similar with what Kathy was saying, actually. I loved it. I want you to try and make the choice not to get off the couch. That's not always easy. If you can, great. But sometimes make the choice of looking at something differently. That can be, I made my bed with pillows this way today. I'm going to make it differently tomorrow. That can be, I don't make my bed. I don't like it. I'm going to just see what happens if I make my bed. That can be, I don't like breakfast, but I'm going to have a bite of yogurt just to see what happens if I do something differently. Because the small things that you do over time, the changes that you make, the view that you see, if you challenge your view, if you start to look at things as if you're a 5-year-old, as if you're a child, a little girl who's not been told that she can't be like the boys, not been told she doesn't belong in the room, that she doesn't have a seat at the table, not been told that she's the wrong gender to successfully do the task. Try to embody that for a moment and just look. That's all I'm asking for today. There's so many more things you can do that will help you, but just take a look and choose to find the ocean, just the ocean right across in the sky. I promise a little bit of that goes a very long way in your day. It really does. So I wish you so much love, so much joy, and so much empowerment in just the choice of seeing a little bit differently. And remember, we're all a little bit 5 years old. We have that. We've all been there. You've got that in you. You do. Okay. Love and hugs. Thank you.
I think you just took us on a wander, just putting ourselves back in those shoes of just wonder. And as you all know, I have a little baby, and really, she makes me see things differently. It makes me pause sometimes and get creative all over again. And you opened up really interestingly to say, I hate having to have our ducks in a row, because really, how often do we really have all the ducks in a row? And it's so funny because that's our favorite song of my daughter, but it's so true.
I like ducks for the kids. Don't get me wrong. It's a great song.
Yeah, no, but I get it, and it's such a beautiful reminder that when life does throw those curveballs, when life does shake things up and you feel a bit lost or challenged, sometimes you just need a bit of a new perspective to get aligned again and to get excited. Sometimes you're just burnt out. Sometimes you're just tired, and all the noise that here and there and torn into million directions. You just want to be at peace, right? And as I say, make that decision or see things from new perspective. So Carol, I love, and it really says what you do. She takes the lead. And I know that's what you help women do. Take the lead in their own lives. Take the lead in what they want, what they desire, and all your choices in life and your story, of just pursuing what you wanted despite of those circumstances that were not perfectly lined up for you, is a testimony of just what you do and what you help others to do today.
Thank you. Thank you. I've never regretted doing something. I've certainly regretted not doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Thank you so much, Ramonda. I really appreciate this. It's a wonderful platform, and it's such an important message for us to, be able to speak, have our voice.
Yeah, it's interesting threads today, and I really see from one speaker to the next. And I always say, these showcases and events, anything we do, I have this belief that there is a divine orchestration, right, of a theme or the topics that we're talking about. And I believe that somehow magically the right person who needs to hear this message, whether today, whether in a few days or a few weeks, will hear this message because they truly need to hear it. So what I want our audience to do is share this live, because I think what Carol shared today is a message for someone, and she needs to hear it today. So share it. Thanks, Carol. Much love to you. And of course, you see Carol's handle on her screen. Again, if you feel inspired, empowered by any of our speakers, connect with them. They're amazing women. Their DMs are open. You can connect with them on social media. Check out their podcasts. A lot of our speakers have podcasts. Some of them have books. So go and gently stalk them. That's my advice to you, because you never know. You might make a best friend or a cheerleader or find yourself a mentor or a coach in the process of this. And if you are feeling stuck, just know you're not alone. And there's heaps of support and encouragement and a whole beautiful community of women at Women Thrive to support you. Okay, next up, we got lovely Marcy Bileski. I hope I keep pronouncing names right. We're going to get there. I promise by March, I'm going to promise to properly pronounce all of your names, but I'm quite confident on that one. Marcy Bileski, right? An award-winning #1 best-selling author, the founder of Tastefully Sexy by Marcy B, and an aspiring mindset coach. An educator for 36 years, Marcy has a master's degree in English and master's in human development counseling, both from University of Illinois. Marcy has published numerous online articles, and in March 2024, Words Matter Publishing took on her 4-book romance suspense series and published it, I, Deception and Consequences. Is that right?
The first book, yeah, Deception and Consequences.
Amazing. Marcy, not sure if you need to maybe bring your audio back a little bit, not as close.
Okay.
Yeah,
Got it?
that's perfect. Yay, great. Marcy, I'm looking forward to having you share your message today with our audience.
It's kind of on theme.
I know, that's what I was about to say. Do you think yours is going to be on theme with the thread we got going on today?
Absolutely.
But I trust in the divine orchestration of things. So over to you, Marcy.
Today, I'm going to start with a question. How do you deal with failure? The answer to that question just might be the difference between chasing your dream and catching it. Because we're all going to deal with failure at some time. No one is immune to it. It's how you react to it that makes the difference. See, there's 2 kinds of people. There are the people who respond to failure by getting busy, fixing the problem, getting around the roadblock, moving on and learning a lesson. Those are the people who know that they are their own best asset, right? They have something to share that other people need, and they need to do it for themselves. So they don't let failure, they don't let it destroy them. They let it empower them. And then there are the people who quit. These are the people who find it easier, for whatever reason, to give up on a dream. Maybe it's because somebody's told them they should. Maybe it's because they've put it in their own head that they can't. But these people don't realize that what they have to offer is so important. And they're doing themselves an injustice by quitting, because they may never get back on their path to their big dream. I'm going to share with you my most crippling story of failure that I've never shared with anyone. And I am very certain that I would not be where I am today if it hadn't have happened at the particular time that it happened, because I needed a wake-up call. And I realize that now. I was working as a teacher. I was teaching English language, and I was in my last year of my master's program for English. And I was getting ready to go into my professor's office to talk about my thesis. I walked in and I knew something was wrong because he had an angry look on his face. And I sat down and he pushed my paper across the table and he said, "This isn't going to work." And before I could say anything else, he said, "I can't believe you've gotten this far. Your writing skills are horrible." Now, let me remind you that I was working as an English teacher. I had put my life's work and my education into the fact that I wanted to be an English teacher and a published author. And that comment hit hard. So as he then proceeded to tell me all the things wrong with my paper, and he was not trying to really help me at this point. He was punitive. He started talking and pointing out all my inadequacies, and somewhere in there, something switched in my mind. And I went from feeling defeated and like I was going to quit to being empowered, because someone was telling me I couldn't do something that I knew I could. So I went home and I finished that paper. I went through every mistake. I went through every problem. I learned from it. And I was a better teacher, a better writer, and I'm a better person because of that failure. So I'm going to ask you again, how do you deal with failure? And I hope you've learned 3 things. First of all, failure should empower you, not destroy you. Second of all, you are your own best investment. You have an asset that is too valuable to waste. Don't let anyone or anything deter you if you know you can do something. And finally, failure is just a mistake that needs fixing. It's a problem that needs solving. So you fix it and you move on And when you move on, you're one step closer to your big dream because you're going to catch it, not just chase it.
Marcy, oh, that was so amazing. I was just typing up just some of the takeaways, and I could so relate and to your story. And I love some of the messages that you shared today. It really runs with the theme of just not giving up when we're faced with defeat, life challenge. And I love that you shared that, it actually empowered you to make a difference, make a change.
I got mad.
That's right. And sometimes being angry is a really interesting emotion that drives us to take a different action.
And it wasn't so much I was angry at him, I was angry at myself. And it was the kind of thing where I needed that. And without it, I wouldn't be where I am because I wouldn't have made those changes. It was hurtful and it was painful and it was humiliating, but it was necessary. It was a necessary part of my journey. And
Amazing. Failure, I always say failure is just a detour to find another way. And the reason why I can relate to your story, because when I was an immigrant when I came to live in the UK, and I started school, but I didn't speak very well English and very good English. And I failed my exams 3 times and I had to take a whole year again. And I thought, well, maybe it's not meant to be, or, I'll never master this. Today I have multiple books that not only I publish, but also help others share their stories. And that's the thing, we can master anything. Just don't let that failure to be your defeat, and pursue whatever it is that you want. This was your life's work. And look at you today, Marcy. I mean, you're writing articles, you're writing for the media, you writing books that have been published. I know you got other books in the works as well, and I believe you help others to also put their work and their stories on paper.
Yeah. It's been a journey, and it's not always been smooth, but like I said, every part's been necessary, especially the failure. You have to just let it help you instead of harm you.
Yeah, absolutely. Marcy, I'm excited. How can people get in touch with you?
I am accessible through my website. All my links for social media are at marcyb.net. I'm available there.
Amazing. Looking forward to seeing you at the summit. And you guys are all so creative with just your storytelling, and just there is a message in your story. There's a message in just your life experiences. So I encourage others to see, what is your message? What have you been through in life that you've learned from, whether it was failure, defeat, challenges in life, and how you can inspire others? Because I think without knowing, just by the fact that you're showing up, by taking action, you're actually inspiring others who might be struggling. And today's theme is so powerful. So thank you, Marcy. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
This was Marcy. I'm so thrilled. And if you're here listening, please let us know in the comments below. Let us know which platform you're watching this on. We're streaming this to YouTube and LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram and various platforms, not only on Women Thrive, but also some of our speakers are streaming this. So make sure you share this and leave your comments below. My next speaker, Christina Green, who is about to join us on stage. We'll see what she has prepared for us, but she is a career strategy coach who ditched the corporate hustle culture and started Cardigan Careers to help introverted women bridge the gap and create fulfilling careers on their own terms. I'm a big fan of that. She knows what it's like to feel unseen, overlooked for opportunities, and to be disadvantaged, to be paid pennies for million-dollar efforts. And she's grateful to be the guide along the journey for so many other women to discover more fulfilling life and career. Christina, welcome to stage.
Hi, Ramanda. Very nice to see you. Thank you for having me.
Lovely to see you as well. Where are you joining us from, Christina?
I'm in California in the US.
Lush, amazing. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing from you, and we'll catch up at the end of your talk.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. All right. So thank you everyone for your just a few moments of your time. Today I want to tell you a very personal story. One that hits very deep and has taken me some time to find the voice in this space. But about 14 years ago, I was laid off. I lost my job. I was returning from a maternity leave of 3 beautiful months off with my son to be home with my second son, an opportunity I didn't get with my first son. You see, when I had my first son, I was 23 and everything was unexpected. You know, I was finishing up my college degree. I was working full time. I was transitioning into a career, and I had absolutely no space. And you know, you start learning, you know, early on in your life what FEMLA, right, family medical leave means, and what it means to actually have time that you can spend with your children. I only got 6 weeks with my first son, and to hand him back over at 6 weeks over to a stranger who I very quickly had to warm up to because I was entrusting them with the most important person in my life. Fast forward to 7 years after that, having my second son. Getting the opportunity to take 3 months off, to feel every morning as if I could be there for him, that I wasn't going to be pulled away and having to turn back to my career, you know, and return to the office after 6 weeks, that I had just a little bit more time. Time that was so important to our bond and to you know, to the development of our relationship as well as within our family. But when I walked back in, right, virtually to my job, I had a meeting that was on my calendar from my boss and of course HR. They were letting me know that I was no longer going to be working there. And those 3 months of joy of, wow, I really get to live this life. I was married and I was, you know, living the life that I thought that I wanted for myself, that I was carving and framing out for myself, right? The American dream, the American family. Walking back into there shook me to my core. It felt like when I heard the words being told, "We're gonna have to let you go." It hit me so deeply, and it wasn't because I was offended of having lost the job, it's what the job meant, right? The job meant access to the life that I had been building, the life I had been dreaming for myself. I felt like my power had completely been taken away from me. And to say that those moments are they stay with me would be an understatement. To this day, in this moment, I still feel that powerless feeling that I had in that moment when I was being told that we're gonna have to let you go. The the grief that I had was for what it would mean for my family, what it would mean for my children, what it would mean for the household that I was supporting. And what I found in hindsight, although it took me some time, it took me about 5 months of from that moment on, I got 5 more months with my child at home, right? I got the opportunity to spend even more time bonding and building our relationship and learning how to be a mother in a space that I was never afforded before. I felt that power the powerless that I felt in that moment was being returned to me. Because when one door closes, there are so many other doors and windows and cracks and other ways to get in. But when that door closes on you, it means that perhaps maybe that is no longer the opportunity. Sometimes the universe is telling you that it's time to go a different direction. It's time to go a different way. It's trying to find another way to get to what it is that you're looking for, or really to drive towards the future you're meant to have. My power, right? What I felt that I was losing my power in that moment actually was leading me to discovering my voice, right? Rebuilding my power to discovering my purpose. It took me quite some time to get to where I am today. But when we look back on our story, on the journey that we've had between that moment of trauma, perhaps, or a triggering moment in our past, look and see how far you've come, where you're standing today, measured backwards from where you were before, right? Turn the blinders on to everyone to the left and the right of you because their life is not yours. Their journey has not been yours either. Your journey belongs to you. Your power is in recognizing exactly how far you've come and how far you are to go. My power led me to my journey, the journey that I am happy to be on every single day. And it is not over, right? When I look back, I have come so far and I know I still have so far to go, but it's not about where I'm going. It's about where I am each and every day. So I ask you, what will stepping into your power do for you? What feeling will that bring for you? What feeling of empowerment will you now be able to have in this moment and moving forward because you've made a choice to recognize that what you're doing right now is in fact taking one step after the other towards your power. So where will your power lead you? Thank you so much for your time today and for letting me share. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your week. Thank you, Ramonda.
Christina, thank you. What a interesting story. And like I was saying earlier today, we just never know when life is going to throw a curveball at us. And then it's just up to us how we're going to respond to it. And it can either break you down, right? Make you crumble, or create an opportunity to rebuild yourself. And I love that your mission today is connected to your story of something that happened to you. And you're like, no, I'm never going to let this happen to me again. And it allowed you to have a voice now and also be a voice for other women who may feel the same way. So that's really beautiful, Christina. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I know I'm not the only one with a story similar to this. You know, a good friend of mine told me a long time ago that our story, our testimony, our journey is like our medicine. It's our medicine that's meant to be distributed for others. And when we hold it in and don't tell our story, we don't share our journey, then we don't give the medicine that others need to hear, that they need to have so they can heal. So although these stories, and we all have so many more to tell, right? I tell my story not for the purpose of standing on any podium, but for the purpose of administering medicine to others who need to heal, right? We have similar journeys and parallel lives, and by sharing our stories, we can all heal together.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you, Christina. I'm looking forward to having you on our platform on our summit in March, and just having you deliver your talk. Make sure you all connect with Christina. If you feel inspired, maybe you are at your crossroads within your own career right now and you need some guidance and support, just know that our speakers are here to support you. And as you can tell, they have all been through life storms and they're still here, but they found a new purpose. And that's just a testimony in what Christina just shared. So thanks so much, my love. Look forward to seeing you again. This was Christina Green. We've got 2 more speakers lined up for the rest of the evening. So if you're still here with us, I'd love to see you in the comments. Let us know where you're joining from. If you have a social media channel that you want to share in the comments, feel free to do that. Next up, I've got lovely Catherine Traff. And Catherine founded Catherine Traff Coaching and Ministries after walking away from alcohol and a 20+ year career in neuroscience. So Catherine's mission is to help women walk away from alcohol and not miss it using her proprietary Revive methodology. The combination of neuroscience principles, mindset work, and faith practice help women completely change the trajectory of their lives and become truly empowered. Catherine, so good to see you.
Thank you so much, Ramonda, for being here. The theme that's coming through today, some unbelievably powerful speaking going on today, and it's a privilege to be part of this. To start things off, I want to share with everybody. Yesterday, I had an incredibly stark reminder about the fragility of life. Someone very close to me lost their child. And in that moment, it was very clear to me, for all of us, now is the time, because life is incredibly fragile. So, having said that, I want to talk to you a little bit about why now's the time in your own life. But first, I'll start off with 3 years ago, I had the worst day of my entire 17-year career in neuroscience. It was a 17-hour day in the operating room with a neurosurgeon who was arrogant, didn't listen to me with regard to running the systems in the best possible manner for the safety of his patient. Everything that could go wrong in that operating room that day did. And the other thing that happened that day was it was day one of my new alcohol-free life. What I didn't understand at that point was what it felt like an awful, awful setback turned out to be the most incredible setup for the life that I'm living right now. What I learned that day was the power of decision. And in that moment, I understood that now is the time. I had been grappling with a gray zone drinking problem. And for those of you who don't know what a gray zone drinking problem is, in our culture, we're told you have no problem, or you have a problem that's so bad that you have to go to AA, you have to go to rehab, and there's nothing in between. And it turns out there isn't in between, and I call it the gray zone. I spent so much time managing my drinking so that it didn't become a problem, that it was clouding my life, it was burning me up, and it was burning me out, and it was keeping me from understanding that it was time to make the change from the career that I had loved and rewarded me so well. Two things were stopping me from doing that. The first was the gray zone drinking problem. The second was I was terrified that the work that had burned me up, but I loved so much and gave me this incredible sense of purpose. Because when the patient rolled in the operating room in the morning with a brain tumor, and I was part of that care team, and they rolled out of the operating room at the end of the day without the brain tumor, I knew the difference I made in that patient's life by being part of that team. I didn't know what I could ever do again to reward me like that. So those two things kept me stuck. But that awful, awful day freed me. It was the pivot point to completely set me on a new trajectory in my life. And what I learned as I was trying to figure out how to deal with this gray zone drinking problem was that because I understood the way the brain worked, I understood how the mindset works to support the neuroscience, and I was developing my faith practice. I understood that when I combined those three things together, I could get myself day by day, month by month, and now year by year into a place of I don't miss alcohol at all, at all. And as I was succeeding in influencing those around me, they started to want to know, what is it you're doing? And as I shared with them, they were becoming successful as well. And it finally dawned on me, thanks to the Holy Spirit, this is the work that I want you to do. He shared with me what I pulled you out of, I'm now calling you to do for others. So Catherine Traff Coaching and Catherine Traff Ministries was born. And I can tell you now, the work that I'm doing now is the most rewarding work I've ever done in my life. Because when I see women turn their lives around and understand that now is the time, there is nothing else like that that could ever fill me up, watching these women succeed. So it's a privilege. That awful 17-hour day in the operating room was one of the best gifts of my life. And I'm so thankful for it. So I'm telling you right now, now's the time. Make the decision and start changing your life. Thank you.
Oh, Catherine, I think you brought tears to all of our eyes with the stark reality. You know,
Yeah.
the pain of what we go through at times in life. And my thoughts are with our friend today. And it can spin us out into the zone of trying to mask that pain, mask that trauma, and cope. This is one of the coping mechanisms. And before you know it, we are in that gray zone of just just to survive. And I was remember in that zone when I was in my depression. I didn't know how to find help. I didn't even know how to describe what I was going through, but I knew the only thing that was getting me by is having a little drink every day until it was a problem. So I hope that with your story, you inspire so many other women to have a wake up call that the
Now's the time.
best years of their lives are still ahead of them.
Yes.
And it does not have to be a drinking.
Whatever's keeping you stuck, now is the time to deal with it.
Yeah. And I know so well that when we deal with certain situations in life and we eliminate things that are actually literally killing us, it's like I said, like wiping those screens, those glasses, and being able to see again and being able to enjoy life completely differently and finding your purpose like you did.
This is if I had known then the beauty of what was coming, I would have walked away so much sooner. But there's no way to know that. And I am where I am, and I feel an incredible sense of privilege to be the safety net and the emergency brake for women so they never ever get to the point where they need more extreme measures.
Yeah. Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you, Ramanda.
I appreciate it. How can people connect with you? And if they are struggling with some of these situations, I know it's hard to raise our hands. What would you say to women who might be in that gray zone right now and maybe a little bit afraid to even admit it to themselves that they need help?
The thing that I want them to really understand is if you go to a friend and you say, I'm concerned about my drinking, and you describe what it is, and they tell you, oh, it's not really a problem, that's okay. And they mean to support you. But if you believe it's a problem, it's a problem. And now's the time to do something about it. So there are some resources out there if you want to do some searching. People can reach me at catherinetraffcoaching@gmail.com. And if they want to just talk to me as a friendly voice, that's what I'm here for. That's part of my ministry.
I love that. And I was just reading your title, Alcohol Exit Strategy Expert.
When you have an exit strategy, it's so much easier.
Yeah, amazing. Love it. And I want to say we had this conversation that I've given up alcohol and I don't want to ever go back because I think life is way too precious. Our children are way too precious. And the life ahead of us is yet to come. So let's not kill those dreams with things that are unnecessary in our lives.
Right. Life is fragile.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Catherine. Lovely to see you.
Thank you, Ramanda.
Good to see you. This was Catherine Trough. So we got one more speaker, so please don't go anywhere. And we certainly save best for last, even though I love all of our speakers. I know that Emily is such a wonderful voice on our platform. I recently watched one of her YouTube videos, which was a recollection of her life stories, and it deeply touched me of the things that Emily has gone through and experienced in her life. And she is truly a testimony and inspiration for other moms and women who may have been and survived incredible trauma. So, Emily is an award winning trauma recovery coach, author, podcaster, inspirational speaker on a mission to support trauma surviving mamas to navigate triggers and tantrums as they heal. Oh, we got some interference. As they heal their childhood trauma in the midst of parenting. Passionate about creating positive ripples for generations to come, Emily shares a powerful story of overcoming her veil of trauma that has placed over her life, and to inspire audiences and readers that they too can achieve the peace and healing. Emily, it's so good to see you. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you for the opportunity. I'm so excited to be here.
Emily, I'm very keen to hear what you got to say, so I'm just going to hand it over to you and I'll come back and we'll have a chat at the end.
Alrighty, friends, I've got a question for you. Do you understand, like fully understand, how powerful you are? Maybe, like me, you have faced mountains that seemed impossible to climb. Maybe your voice was squashed and you were made to feel so small, as if you were an ant. Your voice holds so much power. And I want to share with you today, in the few moments that we have together, a story of when I was at my most vulnerable, 7 years old. And I began to understand, I began to walk the journey of understanding how powerful my voice is and how much power I hold within myself. So I'd like to take you back to the mid 90s, November 1997. I was 7 years old and I was visiting my mom for the weekend. Now, this was not something that was uncommon for me. The living situation that I was in, I was forced to go spend weekends with other family members, and this particular weekend happened to be with my mom. And it was a snowy November on the coast, on coastal Nova Scotia. So it was bitter. It was bitter. The cold went through to your bones, okay? And my mom said, "Em, go get your things packed up and we'll take you home." And something that's important for you to know is that at this time, I was living with my dad and my stepmom. And during the week, Monday to Friday, I was being abused in all of the ways. And so my weekends with other family members were my reprieve from that hell, for lack of a better term. And I remember walking across my mom's kitchen thinking, I'm not going back there. Because I had waited for all the previous 18 months for an adult to say, no, no more. You can't hurt her anymore. And there wasn't an adult in sight. And so something inside of my 7-year-old body clicked. And I made the decision that I was not going back. I was not going to be abused anymore. And so I went into my sister's room, and she had one of those big wooden desks from the mid 90s. And so I was putting my things in my bag, figuring out how I was not going to go home. And as a 7-year-old kid, I didn't really have a whole lot of options, but there was this desk. And so I climbed under that desk. I was malnourished enough that I could fit in the chair hole quite comfortably, actually. I couldn't now if I tried, but back then I could. And I put my bag in front of me, and there I sat. Now, the situation that I was in seemed impossible because no one was advocating for little Emily. And I was made to believe that my voice was powerless, that I was nothing and nobody cared. And those thoughts, those beliefs were lies. Are you believing lies? Are you believing that you're nothing, that your voice is nothing? Because it matters. And so my sister, my brother, my mom, all of them came into the room. Where'd you go? Because I was nowhere in sight. And I sat there in silence. I zipped my lip, and it was my best game ever of hide and seek. Eventually, my mom noticed my bag on the floor, moved it, and discovered me. What are you doing, Em? I'm not going home. And that night, I went back to live with my paternal grandparents. That night, my life went back to normal. Only it wasn't. And that night, I learned that my voice has power. And it's been a long journey to get me to where I am today before you. But I am here to share with you that you too hold a tremendous amount of power. Your voice matters. And that no matter where you're coming from, what happened in your past, what happened in your childhood, right now, you hold so much power and you can take it back. You can take it back. And I am here to help you do that.
Emily, oh, amazing. Thank you so much. And again, I was just sharing a little note for you, and I was like, oh, she's finished. The little Emily claimed her power back, and we are here cheering you on and how far you have come in your journey, truly, because it matters. Your story matters, and women or those who have been through similar experiences need to know that they can take their power back and they can have their voice back. And again, just by showing up, by sharing your story, you're leading and paving the way forward for others who may not have a voice. And I want to deeply celebrate you today and every day when you show up to inspire other people, because that little Emily, she had some guts and some balls to pull that one off and say, no more. I'm here, and I'm not going to be falling into that trap again. So, Emily, how fulfilling the work that you do today to help others overcome their traumas?
I am so passionate about making healing resources for busy mamas accessible, because we live in a society where you can get the therapy if you have hundreds of dollars a month to spend on it. You can get the help if you're willing to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars on it, if you have the time to go to appointments here and there. And many millennial moms don't have the village that other moms that came before us had. And so we have to be more creative in making the tools for healing accessible. And so that's what I'm passionate about.
I love that. Emily, stay true to your commitment, your passion, and I know your tribe is going to find you. I'm glad that you're here to share your story. I'm glad that you're here on this platform and we can support that mission with you and be your village, cheering you on. It's just amazing. I can't wait to see you on the summit in March.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Thanks so much. How do people get in touch with you, Emily?
You can find me on my podcast, the Mamahood After Trauma podcast, or you can find me on Instagram at emily.cleghorn.coach.
Amazing. Thanks, Emily. Lovely to see you. What a way to close today's showcase. This is it. This is a wrap up of another wonderful event. And I want to say thank you. If you stayed with us throughout this event, or whether you watched this on replay and you got to catch the snippets of our incredible inspirational speakers, today has been a really powerful message that time waits for no one. It's time to take action, take accountability, make a change, right? And be I love the beginning when we started about be unrealistic about your dreams and make it the new normal. Make a decision not to stay stuck, because there is a community for you, community of other amazing women, other people who have been through similar experiences. So don't be living in a silo, and don't be alone in what you're going through, because there's so much support. And what Emily was saying, that there is accessible resources, there's plenty of support. We make a lot of our events free of charge for you to attend, to participate, to meet people, because we want to make it also accessible for you to have a community and know that, having support can be accessible. So if you have been inspired by any of our speakers today, make sure you connect with them. If you're able to share it to your social media followers, would greatly appreciate it. I want to say thank you to our production team who are here supporting us and helping us make this event possible, our team at Women Thrive, as well as our amazing speakers. They're so dedicated. I'm so excited about the final event that we have coming up in March. I know it feels like a long way away, but in the meantime, you get to be inspired by our speakers. You can connect with them across social media channels. We have our brand new TV channel stream launching in September here on Facebook and YouTube. So look out for that. And of course, our podcast, which has been on pause throughout the summer, is coming back with season 4, featuring some of these amazing women on our podcast, starting third week of September. So keep an eye out for our announcements. Make sure you are on our mailing list and subscribed to all the updates throughout our social media channels. You'll have all the announcements coming up very soon. Thank you from me, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you again on another showcase.